שיעור in Gemara, Maseches Baba Metzia, Perek HaSeches Omnim, Daf Ches Amud Aleph, right there on top. We'll give a little bit of introduction. A guy had two fields, one small that it was worth 100 zuz, and one big that it was worth 200 zuz, and he needed 100 zuz. Okay, now we're going to start the Gemara. Mefshiṭa, this upcoming din is simple. Boi lezvuni b'meo, a guy wanted to sell his small field for 100 zuz because he needed 100 zuz. V'lo yashkach, but he couldn't find any buyers to buy it. V'zovim b'mosayim. So he sold the bigger field for 200 zuz. Now the guy who bought the field didn't pay him. V'ko'ayil v'nofik azuzi. And he went in and he goes, now he's going in and out for the money. So the Gemara concludes, in this case it's very simple. Lo ikoni. The buyer, the one who bought the big field, is not koine, he doesn't get the field. Let's read the Rashi, and Rashi is going to explain to us why. Boi lezvuni b'meo, o yotzorich lemeo zuz. If a guy needed 100 zuz, ve'rotza limkor sode k'tana b'meo zuz, and he wanted to sell his small field for 100 zuz, ve'lo yimotzo lo loikchim, and he couldn't find any buyers, u'mocher g'doila b'mosayim, and he sold the big field for 200. The next Rashi, ve'ko'ayil v'nofik azuzi, ve'zeh ikvam, and this guy, the guy who bought the field, is holding it back. So the Rashi, the next Rashi, lo ikoni, why not? The Anan we are like witnesses, meaning that it's an exception, it's a expression. We are like witnesses. The Al-Kochoi Mochar HaMoicher, we know that he sold a big field against his will because he couldn't find any buyers for the small field. So therefore, you didn't pay me. You did not pay me. Therefore, the deal is not applying. There's no deal. Now the question is, but you only needed 100 zuz, so therefore maybe I should only give you 100 zuz, and the rest I can hold back till pay later. So the Rashi concludes, the seller can say to the buyer, why am I chasing you after the entire money? To buy another field instead of the big field. So I sold you for a big field. I needed 100 zuz for whatever reason. Now I have an extra 100 zuz to buy a smaller field. Now we're going back to the Gemara for the next case. Hello, but in this case we're going to have a question. If he wanted to sell this small field for 100 zuz, but he couldn't find any buyers. But if he worked hard to find buyers, he would have found buyers. He didn't bother. And he sold the big field for 200 zuz. Now the guy did not pay him, and therefore and he's going in and out for the money. Now the question is, what will be the din? Is he koine or is he not koine? What's the choices? Choice number one, it's considered as if he sold his field because it was bad, because he didn't make any efforts to sell the small field, and he went straight to the big field. That means he wanted to get rid of that big field. That's why he went straight to the big field. Therefore, when you sell a field because it was bad, no matter what, you're willing to get rid of it. So therefore, the buyer is going to the field. Or maybe the reason that he's not, he didn't sell the small field and he went straight to the big field because he was just lazy, not because there was anything wrong with it. So therefore, it's not considered a deal, and the guy has to give him back his money. And the Gemara concludes, teiku. Teiku means that the question stays without answer, and the Rosh Teva, so the word teiku is Tishbi Etaretz Kushiyas V'Abayis, that Eliyahu Hanavi, who comes from the city Tishbi, is going to answer this question as well. Rashi. V'lo yashkach, he couldn't find buyers right away. Next Rashi. If he would look good, to go after buyers, he would have found buyers for the small field. Why? Says Rashi. It was hard for him to work hard and to find buyers. And he sold a big field for 200 zuz. Says Rashi. Because of the bother of looking after a buyer, it was easier for him to sell it without being bothered for the money. Shma mino, from here we see, Lo chavivo Yisrael, he didn't like it. So if he did not like it, therefore, he wanted to get rid of it. So he wanted to get rid of it, that means he's willing to sell it no matter what. The next piece of the Gemara. We learned in our Bryce, Sochar es achamer v'sakador. We learned in our Mishnah, Sochar es achamer v'sakador, somebody who rented a donkey driver, a donkey leader, or somebody who has wagons, and they backed out. So the Mishnah says, Soicher aleihem oimatom. He's able to rent other people instead of them, and they have to pay for that amount, whatever the second people wanted for the rent. For how much can he rent? Can he hire the second people that he hired? And for the Gemara, Rav Nachman, ad kedei schorim, till the same amount of payment that he hired the first one. Let's say he hired the first wagon driver for $100. He can rent other people for $100. The Rosh says till double the amount. That's it. And if he didn't pay, and if he paid for the first one, so the first one has to give that money to the second one. Rav asked a kasha to Rav Nachman from a Bryce. In the Bryce it says, in a similar case, ad 45 zuz, that you pay till 40 or 50 zuz. So we see that the amount that they discuss in the Bryce is 8 zuz, and here he hires them for 40 or 50 zuz, which is much more money than he was willing to give to the first one. And he can hire the second one for much more, and not only as much as the payment is. Omarlei, and for the Eleke Gemore, Kitan Yoayi, when did we learn in the Bryce that he can hire other people for 40 or 50 zuz? Shabaso Chavilo Yodoi. When he got the packle of the tools, you see, whatever it used to be a custom that people used to bring the tools into the house of the balabos. So now, if they quit, so the balabos can take those tools and sell them and generate money to hire other people from that. But if he does not have the packle of the tools, so it's only till the amount that he hired them. Rashi. Ad kedei schorim, says Rashi, imosu etzlo ksasa melacha, if they worked a little bit, velo kiblu klum, and they didn't receive any payment, soicher aleihem, so he hires instead of them kol mashu chayev lohem, and whatever he owes them, yosef lachem veigmeru, he's going to use that money for the new people that he hires, and they're going to finish the job, and they're going to get their payment, and the first one are going to get nothing. Next Rashi, sheba so chavilo leyodoi, so im yesh beyodoi mishelo emarbi, if he has something from there that belongs to them, kederech haumnim, the way that the workers, amekablim aleim melocho, who take upon themselves work, mevim klayumnus lebeis balabais, they bringing their tools to the house of the balabais, so he can use those tools to use it for work, to use it to pay to the new people. Now we're going to start with the Mishnah. The Mishnah is a whole bunch of cases. Asoicher sachamoyer, somebody who rented a donkey, lehoilichoi ba'ar, to take him into the mountain, vehoilichoi babiko, but instead he took him into the valley. Another case, babiko, he rented the donkey to go into the valley, vehoilicho ba'ar, and instead he went to the mountain. Afilu zu 10 milim vezu 10 milim, even if either direction, to go to the valley or to go to the mountain, is the same distance, it's both, either way it's 10 mil, which shows that the distance did not make an effect on the animal, whatever happened to the animal. Umeisa, and the animal and the donkey died, chayev. So the owner, the guy who rented the donkey, is obligated to pay. Now we're going to read the Rashi. By Biko v'olicho ba'ar, says Rashi, where did he take her? Beroi shar, in the head of the mountain. Now ve'af al pi shaderech cholok ve'yosho, and even though that the way is smooth and straight, chayiv is still chayiv. And the Rashi adds, the Gemara mefarish, the Gemara is explaining, Maishno reishe ocha, why by in this beginning of the Mishnah, the loy maflik ben uchla kol uchamo, we don't make a difference between how she died, if she slept or she got overheated, ubeseife, and in the next part of the Mishnah, maflik, the Mishnah makes a difference between Lo'ilicho Bar Va'ilicho Babiko, that it makes a difference. Where did he take her? If he took her to the mountain and he took her to the valley, and how she died, if she slept or overeaten. So the Gemara is going to discuss what's the difference between these two cases. In the רישא we see that she died, no matter what happened, he's always chayv. And in the Sefer, the Mishnah makes many differences between how she died and where she went. Now we're going to learn the Sefer of the Mishnah. Somebody rented a donkey to take her to the mountain, and instead he took her to the valley. And now the Mishnah says, if she slept, potter. Why is he potter? Because in the biko is less likely to sleep. Therefore he took her to a place which is less likely for her to get hurt. So therefore it's a oinus. If she got overheated in the bika, chayv. Why? Because he took her to a place that regarding getting overheated, it's worse. So it's a pshir, it's a negligent. Another case, lo ilicho babika, if he was supposed to take her to the valley, vo ilicho bar, and instead he took her to the mountain. So now it's the opposite. If she slept, chayv. Why? Because in the mountain it's more likely to sleep. Veimuchamo, potu. And if she got overheated, is potu. Why is he potu? Because over here is less likely, so it's like an oinus. Now the Mishnah adds, im machmas amayla, and Rashi had the word duchamo. If because of the climbing she got overheated, and how do we know because of the climb she got overheated? Because she got overheated as she was climbing. Chayev, because the climbing caused her to die. Rashi starts with the word Ve'im echliko potu. Says Rashi, shebahar iruya la'achlik yoser. And the mountain, it's more suitable to sleep. Why? Sharoi sha'ar chad u'meshupal etzdodim. Because the top of the mountain is sharp and slanted to the side, so it's more likely that you can sleep. Mashenke by the valley is less likely. Next Rashi, Ve'imucha mochayev. Why? Sha'abiko ma'level, because the valley brings out humidity. Why is that? Because there are mountains around the valley. So the air doesn't come into the valley. The next Rashi, says Rashi, when she got overheated, when she was climbing from the bottom of the mountain to the top, chayev. Why, says Rashi, the next Rashi? Because the climbing caused her to die. And he changed to take her to the mountain, so he made it worse for her. Now, this part of the Mishnah is away, it's a totally other cases. Somebody rented a donkey, Ivriko, and the Gemara gives us two choices. Ivriko, either she became blind, or she was not able to walk because it was worms in her feet. Or the soldiers of the king confiscate the animal, the donkey, for the work of the king. So the maskir says to the soicher, the rental company says to the one who rented, Rashi is going to explain what does that mean, which means use it, do the best you can in each case, as we're going to see in the Rashi. Veivriko, says Rashi, Begemore Mefarish. Oy shenasi sangario, says Rashi, shenotlu ala avodas hamelech, they took her to the work of the king. Oimer loy maskir lasoicher, arei shalcho lefonecha, says Rashi. Now Rashi obviously chooses one of the pirushim of the Gemara. One of them, he chooses that Ivriko means blind. So Rashi says, Teleno kemoi shei semuyo, take the behemoth the way she is blind, v'telech and go, meaning do the best you can in the situation. Why? She'af mazol chagoram kemoi mazoli, because you bet mazel is bad as you mazel is just as bad as my mazel. We both losing. And therefore, v'trach, and work hard, v'yasher roise badrochim, and straighten her up in the roads. Now, and also by Angaria, what is he telling her? Amtein at shetoshuv, come wait till the behemoth comes back. Shaf mazol chagoram, because you bad luck also caused you. V'nafsi shnenu, we both are losing. And the Gemara is going to explain what happened by Angaria if the behemoth doesn't come back. It's going to be a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. Back to the Mishnah, the last case of the Mishnah. Meisoy nishbara, if the animal that he rented died or broke a leg, he has to give him he has to give him another donkey. Now Rashi chooses another explanation. What does it mean? Chayav la'amid lo chamoir. What does it mean? Rashi goes into a length of explanation. So we're going to see in the Rashi. Meiso in Ishbero shemafsid kol schoro. In this case, he's losing his entire payment, meaning he cannot do anything with the animal because it died or broke a leg. So now Rashi says chayav amaskir. The amaskir is obligated. He gives you three choices what the maskir is obligated to do. Choice one: limkoir or oir vanevelo laklovim. He has to sell the skin and the meat to dogs, and now he gets money. Not enough, but he gets money. And to add money on top of that money that he got, and to give him another donkey. That's choice one. Oi, choice two. If he was not able to generate, he's not able to add more money to the dead meat of the donkey, to the dead donkey, so therefore he uses the worth of the dead donkey to rent him another donkey from a different company. Why does he have to go into all this trouble? Sharei, so Rashi adds these words. Because the rental company, when this guy came to rent a donkey, the rental company told them, I'm renting to you this donkey. Therefore, they committed only from this donkey. Therefore, they only have to take care of him from this donkey, not from any other donkey. That's why they have to go to all this trouble, how they get him another donkey. Oi, choice number three, yachzor lo yischoroi, he has to give him back his money. Back to the Gemara. Now the Gemara is going to ask a question, as Rashi mentioned before, what's the difference between the רישא and the Sefer? Frag the Elike Gemara, Ma'ishna רישא, what's the difference that in the רישא, the loiko maflik, that doesn't make a difference between Uchlako and Uchamo, doesn't make a difference between how she died and where he went, to Ma'ishna Sefer, and what's the difference that in the Sefer, the komaflik, that we do make a difference, where he went and how she died, and so far and so on. Rashi, the komaflik, ben Uchlako leuchlamo, that we make a difference between Uchlako leuchamo. So on that the Gemara has four answers. The first three are very similar, and the fourth one makes a totally different direction. The first answer is Amri Devei Rabbi Yanai, and the Shiva of Rabbi Yanai, the Talmidim of Rabbi Yanai says, רישא, the reason that in the beginning we don't make a difference in how she died, Shemeisu Machmas Savir, because she died because of the bad air. What does that mean because of the died of the bad air? We're going to see there is a difference between Rashi and Tosfos. Now the way we learned with you in the class, we learned according to the Tosfos, that she died because of the hair. What does that mean? That it was in that time where he went, either it was the air was strange because either he went to the mountains and it was too much snow, or he went to the valley and it was too much rain. And so therefore, the Amrinon, that we say, Aviro de Arkatolo, you took her to a place that the air of the mountain killed her from too much snow. V'amrinon, we also say, Aviro de Bikakatolo, and the air of the valley killed her because it was too much rain, so therefore it's your fault. That's according to Tosfos. In Rashi, you can look it up in Rashi yourself. Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina Omar, another answer, Kegon Shemeiso Machmasuv Tzeno. And he died because of over-exhaustion, okay, from the Pekelach. So therefore, therefore that's what caused her to kill. So therefore, we don't have to make a difference between Uchlako and Uchamo and so far and so on, because she didn't die for that reason. Another answer, Rabbi Omar, Kegon Shiki Shonochosh. Rabbi says that we're talking about that he took her to a place that a snake bit her. So again, it makes no difference between how she died, Uchlako and Uchamo. Okay, we're going to skip these Rashis for right now. And we're going to go to the fourth answer. The fourth answer, Rabbi Rieber Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Rieber said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, "O Mani, who is the רישא of the Mishnah follow like? It's the opinion of Rabbi Meir. What is the opinion of Rabbi Meir? The Omar, Kol Amavir al Da'as shel Baal Habayis. Anyone that changed from what the Baal Habayis told him to do, like over here, the Seicher was told to go to the valley and he went to the mountain, or he was told to go to the mountain and he went to the valley. Nikro Gazlon is called a Gazlon. Now we're turning the page. So therefore, what does that help me if he's called a Gazlon? So therefore, he's coined the donkey the moment he changed, and no matter anything that happened, he's obligated to pay from the moment that he changed. Let's see the Rashi. Nikol Gazlo, Vekomoloi Bershusoi, it was established to be in his possession, to do what with it? Leischai b'chol oinsel, to be chayiv in any oinus that happened, anything that happened, anything bad to it. Now, how does it answer the question, why do we, in the ریשא, we don't make a difference? And in the Sefer, we do make a difference. So Rashi added, sums it up in two words, V'sefer Rabbanan. What does that mean? Sefer goes according to Chachomim, which means that according to this teretz, there is a machloikes between Rab Meir and Chachomim. According to Rab Meir, if you change anything that happened to the behemoth, you're obligated to pay. And if you don't change, you don't pay. And according to Chachomim, in every case, we have to look exactly what happened. Is that your fault? Is it a pshir? Is it an oinus? And so forth and so on. And this is where we're going to finish. Thank you.